At its best, the Pulse Elite headset delivers an immersive gaming experience with audio reproduction so good you'll identify sounds you've never heard before, even in games you're familiar with. But just like the Pulse Explores released in 2023, some unnecessary design choices can abruptly pull you back into the real world. The Pulse Elite is the first gaming headset to fully incorporate PlayStation's proprietary Link protocol. This is essentially Sony's version of Bluetooth, which aims to provide lower latency for gamers. Currently, the only gaming system that supports Link technology natively is the PlayStation Portal, and it's a little bit weird that the Pulse Elites were actually announced alongside the Portal and the Pulse Explores, because I don't think that this is a very portable gaming headset at all. Generally, the Pulse Elites have a very good build quality, but the surrounding plastic on the ear cups is incredibly scratchy, and even with light use, you're likely to see some marks. So the fact that these headphones don't come with a carrying case and you can't fold them down means that they're really not a good option to throw into your bag. One thing the Pulse Elite does come with though is a mountable charging stand. This is a really big clue that the Pulse Elites are really made to be used at a dedicated gaming station or in a traditional sofa setup. And this is where it really shines, although not always for the right reasons. The main headband is really light and flexible, and there's a loop underneath it which will adapt the size of the headphones to your head perfectly. It's by far the most comfortable pair of headphones that I've ever worn for this reason, and although the ear cups do look a bit big and spacey, they're actually also really comfortable against your ears too, and after 6 weeks of use I haven't seen any signs of damage there. The microphone stalk is very well designed too. You simply retract it from the main body and then slide it back into place when you don't want to use it. There's some really clever tech inside the headphones that can filter out environmental noise so that people can't hear that when you're gaming in a party session, and that combined with the comfort also makes it a really good choice for people who spend long times working in a remote setting. Unfortunately, there is one really annoying feature about the Pulse Explores, and that's the fact that on the other side of the headphones you have a blue LED indicator light which is constantly shining into your peripheral vision. As of now, there's no way to switch this light off, and it makes it incredibly difficult to game with this headset in a dark environment. I'm a busy dad and I spend a lot of my time playing the PlayStation Portal in bed with my son sleeping next to me. That's fine with the Pulse Explores because they simply slot into my ears and I don't have to worry about any light other than PlayStation Portal screen. And I'm hoping now that in the future there'll be a firmware update which will allow me to switch off this rather annoying light. There's every reason to believe PlayStation will do that because, as we've seen with the PlayStation Portal and the Pulse Elites, firmware updates have been rolling out to introduce new features like an EQ selector and improve the connection between your PlayStation 5 and your peripheral accessories. There's arguably still a lot of work that needs to be done on this PlayStation Link technology to make the connection actually worthwhile though. The fact that you have to pair new devices and cycle through connections using a single button and memorizing certain long press lengths was something that really annoyed me about the Pulse Explores, and it's just as annoying with the Pulse Elites. In theory, being able to connect to 8 different Link USB dongles is a pretty cool idea because you can connect it to your computer, your PlayStation 5 and even your PlayStation Portal and simply cycle through them. But the way that this has actually been integrated means that you have a lot of connectivity issues and you often find yourself connecting to your PlayStation 5 downstairs rather than the PlayStation Portal, and I've had some occasions where I've had audio playing out of the PlayStation Portal and not noticed it and really annoyed the people next to me. I understand PlayStation are trying to reduce the amount of buttons on these headphones, but honestly I would always prefer to have physical buttons that I can toggle on and off than rely on software to figure out what exactly I'm trying to do with my long presses. The Pulse Elites do have a headphone jack and that is nice to see, but it's also unfortunate that they don't send you a cable in the box. There is good news though, because if you can get past all of these bugbears, the Pulse Elites give you a really amazing audio experience on the PlayStation 5. They utilize planar magnetic drivers which are typically found in really high-end headphones, and they give you an incredibly detailed and immersive audio experience. If you've ever used a pair of studio headphones to do some kind of audio production or maybe video editing, then you'll be very familiar with the kind of sound landscape of a pair of headphones like this. The aim of these planar magnetic drivers is to reproduce every single audio element as it was intended and bring to life a very detailed spectrum of sound. If you're going into this pair of headphones after wearing something like a pair of Beats or maybe even AirPods, then you might be disappointed with how low the bass appears within that sound mix. It's just human nature that we prefer sounds on the lower end of the spectrum, but headphones like this are designed to replicate what it is like to be in a world and have you truly immersed in that space. If you're playing a game like God of War Ragnarok and using the spatial audio settings, you'll be able to hear birds off in the distance and really pinpoint their location. You can hear enemies attacking you from behind, and you'll be able to hear the subtle rainfall as you sort of traverse through the regions. And if you do dig into the EQ settings on your apps like Spotify or Apple Music, and also use that new menu in the PlayStation 5 settings, you will be able to find a deeper, bassier variant if that is something you prefer. The same, of course, can be said about the Pulse Explore earbuds, but there you are really relying on having a good seal with those earbuds to actually give you a very immersive sound. So the benefit of having a pair of headphones like this is that it's really going to fit everybody. So if you are considering either the Pulse Elites or the Pulse Explores, it really does come down to how you're going to be gaming with them. If you do want to take your PlayStation Portal on the go, or even move around your house a lot in different locations and even dark locations, then I'd go with the Pulse Explores. If you are going to have a stationary gaming setup at a desk or in front of your TV, then the Pulse Elites are a brilliant option, and in today's market, a fairly competitive price for a decent pair of headphones. To see more about the Pulse Explores though, check out this video here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.